Good afternoon, Dabrowski Doberman's followers. This is Diva Denisov doing another Dabrowski Doberman educational video based on questions that come from our puppy buyers every single day. I was recently asked, what is the difference between working and show lines? And why do I need to know the difference? Here's what it is. I asked ChatGPT to help me here because it tends to be very succinct and cut to the chase and makes it easier for me so I don't have to just ramble on. So here's what ChatGPT says about these differences. I asked a question and said, what are the articulable differences between working and show lines? And here's what it said. Working line dogs tend to have more functional and utilitarian appearance. They are often leaner and more athletic build with defined muscles. Their coat may be shorter and less showy and more emphasis on practicality. Show line dogs are bred for conforming to the breed standard. Therefore, they have to have a certain degree, 100 degree front. They need to have a 100 degree rear, a 90 degree front, excuse me, or a 90 degree rear. They need to have a straight top line, a great tail set. They need to have a long enough neck. They need to have a good underbite. They need to have a lot of things that perhaps working dogs don't possess. Also, temperament. There's a difference in temperament. Working line dogs tend to be more energetic and have stronger drive. They're called biddable. And they can have even what's called an edge, and that means that they will bite. And if you're a working line dog, you want that. Obviously, if you have a pet, maybe you don't want a highly biddable, and you don't want a dog with a tremendous edge or a drive, because they like to bite. That's what puppies do, right? So show line dogs are bred with an emphasis on temperament too, but an emphasis to be showable, to be handled in a show ring, and to be pretty malleable when it comes to strangers and different unique experiences. So show dogs are kind of more couch potatoes than you would see in a working line dog. Health and longevity is also different. Working line dogs are bred specifically to prioritize health and performance over aesthetics. So those of you thinking you have working lines coming from Croatia with a great big blocky head and big heavy set body, 100-pound male, no, that's not a working line dog. The working line dogs are in that 50 to 80-pound range. They have finer bone, more of a greyhound kind of a head. They're just more streamlined. And so that focusing on those traits tends to give the dog more genetic diversity and a more healthy dog, a more robust dog, whereas show line dogs tend to be line bred and in most cases are prone to more health problems. The temperament is the same per se in Dobermans. Dobermans are a lovely, biddable, charming, adorable animal, but they can have an edge and they can be couch potatoes. So even in a working line dog, you can have a dog that isn't biddable and you end up putting him in a pet home because he just doesn't have the drive to be biddable, to be worked in the working arenas. So something I want to tell you too is that titles on the front end, AKC champion or grand champion or IDC champions, Russian champions, Croatian, Serbian, those dogs that are in the show rings, they're not working lines. They can have working titles on the back end, which just means they're biddable. They have a little bit more edge. They have a little bit more drive to be able to perform working tasks, but they are not working lines. And then there are just pet lines, people that just breed for hobby and because they love the breed. Met a breeder back east. She's been breeding for 35 years. Her dogs are living 10, 12, 13, 14 years. She's not very popular in the big show dog breeding world, but she's been breeding for 35 years and her dogs live a long time. They're just hobby lines. So we breed a combination of all three of these lines in our pedigree, specifically because our focus is just health and longevity. We already have pretty dogs. They're already championed. They're coming from those lines. So I hope this helps. And if you have any questions ever, our Dabrowski Dobermans Facebook page is a great place to find us. We also have a website, dabrowskidobermans.com. We're also on Instagram and occasionally something on TikTok. But TikTok is my political space. So if you're not political liberal, don't go there. You won't like it. But anything about Dobermans, be sure to ask me, give me a call, email me anytime. Diva Denisov, Dabrowski Dobermans. And we have a litter due in about 20 days.